Well, hey, everybody. It is TexAgs Rewind here on a Tuesday, a day after the national championship game. And this is a dad joke here, Nick. Help me out here. But not help me out. Just play along. Okay. You hear that? That's another touchdown by Georgia. And there's another one. Georgia dismantled TCU. I think I just spit when I said that out there. Nick, there was a time, and I think I've done it maybe once with you. I would do the rewind from back there. I feel like you haven't invited me to hang out with you back there.
You're the boss, man. You can come back here and do it from here whenever you want. I mean, you kick me out of my chair and I move over.
Yeah, we got to fix the lighting, though. It looks like a movie that I'm not going to talk about what kind of movie, but not the kind of movie that we should be on.
Okay. Well, that's a Dalton problem. So
yeah, it is a Dalton problem.
You take that one up with him.
Look at Kay over there just enjoying her little beverage, whatever she's drinking.
She's working away.
Yeah, we're talking about you, Kay. Yeah, you. All right, for those of you who watch this show for the actual content, college football playoff is over. Champs are obviously Georgia.
Sadness.
Yeah. But you know what it means? It means closer to next season.
True.
Right? Another day closer. Aggies in the NFL. Charean Williams joined us on the program. And Dan Campbell, she said he might get some Coach of the Year consideration. Let's do it. She said he's going to finish in the top 2 at least. We did talk with Joni Taylor about women's basketball struggling, but she's seeing progress, and she explains what that progress is because every win is a big win for them, and I'm talking about wins inside the game. And we had John Pugliese on the show, talking a little Aggie hoops. We had Pat Henry on the program, all the stuff you can go listen to the entire show. But if you just want the rewind, well, you're already here. You know what it's about. Let's go.
You're right about Sonny Dykes. He's a good guy and all,
I like him.
But that whole that's more of a Big 12 thing, I think. That they're always spinning that, hey, look who they play. And I'm sure with Texas and Oklahoma leaving, it makes the rest of that Big 12 conference members, even more sensitive about it. Oh, yeah, we don't have – yeah, but you get to play that level of competition quite often. You play it early.
Yep.
But to make that kind of statement that would question – what everybody knows is that the strongest conference in college football is the SEC, and to make that statement is really pretty asinine. And then you go out and get your asinine ass handed to you.
It was embarrassing. And look, by the way, congratulations on a wonderful season. We'd gladly trade places with TCU, the kind of year that they had, 13-1, and they beat Michigan, and again, that people thought they were going to get mopped. So congratulations on all that. But I think I told you, my brother-in-law went to Texas, and we had this discussion. He was actually wondering, why the heck would Texas go to the SEC? His thinking is, it's the easiest path to the playoffs if you would have stayed in the SEC, because eventually you're going to win 11 games and get there. And why would you go? But he also
said the same thing about A&M.
Yeah, but it worked out better for A&M. I think it was the right move. But then he was also talking about, and I just don't know how deep the SEC is. And in my opinion, Mississippi State can win the Big 12. Maybe not this year. TCU was pretty darn good, but I think Ole Miss has a chance to win the Big 12. I think Arkansas would have a chance to win the Big 12. I think the SEC West, pretty much all the teams, minus maybe Auburn this year and obviously A&M this year, would have a chance to win the Big 12. It would be as competitive or more than what we saw from Texas and Oklahoma and yada.
Well, and I'm also going to amend OB my answer on the Texans. I forgot briefly, I don't know how, Dan Snyder and the Commanders. So they're probably number 1, but Dan Snyder's going to sell, so that kind of has an asterisk on it. So if Dan Snyder sells, then it's back. My answer's back to the Texans. But I forgot. I don't know how I forgot Dan Snyder. He's easy to forget, I guess. Myles Garrett is going to be our honorable mention, 7 tackles, a sack. He finished up his season with 16 sacks. That's tied for second in the NFL behind Nick Bosa's 18.5. I do think Nick Bosa, we're voting on AP All-Pro and all the awards. I think Bosa ends up getting the Defensive Player of the Year award this year, but Myles is going to get some votes, and it'll be nice to see him finish probably in the top 3. Third this week, Randy Bullock. Field goals of 51, 39, 41, had a solid season. Titans didn't win that game. Jaguars did, so Titans are not moving on, but he had a really good game for the Titans, kept them in it. Number 2, Christian Kirk, 6 catches, 99 yards, and a touchdown the same game. He really validated that contract.
Got $1 million in bonuses.
Yeah, he sure did. A 1,000-yard season, really played well. Number one, Dan Campbell. Last
Yes.
time the Lions had a winning record, 2017, 9-8 this year, a really outstanding year. He's going to get lots of votes for AP Coach of the Year and could win it. I think he's going to be in the top two probably of that, the way he's turned the Lions around. An organization that, when you talk about bad organizations, that's been one in football that's been a bad organization, and he came in there and really changed the culture and the way that team operates. I think they're really excited about 2023 after what they did this season and Sunday night against the Packers, having nothing to play for, and they come out and beat the Packers, who had everything to play for.
No, absolutely. It's like, a lot of times people talk about like the journey, and it's not once you arrive, it's the journey of going through it. That's when you get stronger. That's when you get better. And then at some point you look up and you're there. And so that's where we're so process oriented, because it can be really easy with media, with social media, with coaches, parents, whatever, you want to fill in the blank with. People can talk about, well, oh my God, you guys have lost 4 games in a row. You must be just miserable. No, we're not. We're getting better. Our 7 are fighting. They're in great spirits, and they are doing all they can and everything we ask. So our mood is great. We believe, and we understand that, again, those small victories is where we're measuring our progress. And so we're not caught up in, do we want to win? Yes, please don't misunderstand me. But we also understand, and we knew going into this, and we prepared our team for that, and obviously try to prepare everybody else as well. But I'm proud of how they've continued to fight and get better.
Also, look, I know this is said often, and it's not a takeaway line. I really think that the adversity that the team is going through this season will make them a better team in the long term.
It definitely will. The one thing that we always say is, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse, because staying the same is getting worse. And this team is definitely getting better. One of the areas that we needed to address when we first got here, and we talked about we were going to address, is just our toughness and our mindset. And what a great teacher this has been in those 2 areas. There's no better way to do that than for them to be literally thrown into the fire the way they have. And there are some times that we've seen them get challenged and fold. And as of late, we've gotten challenged and we bowed our back.
How about the offensive rebounds that have created so many more opportunities for a team that, they didn't get it that much last year?
Yeah, I think it's about their positioning and where they are. I mean, again, going back to the Marble and Henry Coleman together, if Henry Coleman is all the way at the 3-point line and Marble's down low, it's difficult for Henry Coleman to crash the glass and all that stuff on every play. But you're getting guys like Dexter Dennis to get a couple. Henry gets a couple. Boots Radford's a really good rebounder. Salmon Washington comes in and gets a couple. So this team does have some tenacity and grit to them, which is what offensive rebounding is. And I think that is where we'll see maybe the biggest jump is second chance points here in the SEC play. They're going to have to, A&M is going to have to commit to that idea. How many trips can we get to the line? How many free baskets can we get to the line? And how many second chance opportunities can we get? How many times do we convert those? That wears on teams that you're playing against, right? It's like an offensive line, right? Yep. It's like an offensive line pushing people around and making it, opening up holes, and the defensive line is just gassed and the offensive line is just crushing them. It's the same idea. It's a goal line. Every time the ball is on the rim, it's a goal line play. Do you get the ball, or is it a goal line stand? And then converting after that. Can you get an easy basket, or do you have your composure enough that you can bring it out and you can still run some time and you can get a good run a good set?
John, last thing for you. How important is this Missouri game, considering they're a team that can score a lot? You're playing good basketball, but you have a long uphill climb still.
So I don't think it's a make or break by any means. They play this Missouri game. I said if they could go 4-1 in this first 5, I would feel good. It's the same thing I said last year when they started out hot. My worry is that they get run out the gym. And not that I think that's going to happen, right? I don't. This game's at home. I think, Reed Arena should be full. I hope it's full. I hope fans come out to support this team. I wish I could be there, obviously. But I think this team needs to keep this game close. And I think that is where we'll know, okay, what can we expect the next couple games? because they have to go to South Carolina, which isn't a great place to play and doesn't have a ton of fan support for the basketball program. And then they have Florida at home, who they just beat. But if they can keep this game close, then these next 2 games look like, okay, we could be 4-1 going into Kentucky, who's not playing real good basketball right now. And we could be 5-1 with a showdown versus a really good Auburn team. So I think they need to keep it close. I think they can win it. I really do. I think they have just as much talent. I told you this from the first time we talked this year. This roster is full of SEC talent. And so I think they can win this game. We'll see what happens.
All right, that's going to do it for the show. Nick, tell them what to do.
You got to like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, share it, email it, text it. What else? How else can you share things?
For those who are listening or still, like, who's stuck around, comment below on this. So I brought up Kirby is not going to be in the same category of Nick Saban because of the 7-2 for a while, and that I believe in my GOATs. And Michael Jordan is not going to be replaced in my lifetime, and I don't think Nick is going to be replaced as the GOAT in his life and in my lifetime, right? Somebody said Kobe over Michael. Nobody thinks that, right? That's not really a thing, is it? I know it's a thing like LeBron. Are you one of those who thinks LeBron's better? You don't even watch basketball, Nick, do you?
No, I mean, I don't think LeBron's better than MJ. No.
What about Kobe?
Kobe's better than LeBron, I guess. I don't know. I don't pay, like you just said, I don't really pay attention to basketball, but I know I watched what's MJ's documentary? What's it called?
The Last Dance?
The Last Dance, yeah. I watched it, and that's good enough for me to think that he's the greatest of all
It's not
time.
even a conversation.
Yeah.
Like, it's not. Sorry. I mean, LeBron, great, like, to be able to do it. Okay, this became a different show. TexAgs Rewind. We'll see you next time.